From now on, you can also call me Mister. These are the words of Alessandro Del Piero after yesterday showing on Instagram that he graduated as a coach, but not the coach of Juventus Football Club, at least not for now, because for the near future, speaking already about season 25-26, it should be, according to experts, about papers, about Mercato insiders, Antonio Conte. Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel, I hope you're all doing well. We have a lot of things to talk about. Del Piero, Conte, Weston McKennie, the future with Ndoye, and also Florentino as a backup plan to Tonali. So many things to speak about. Put a maximum of like if you didn't yet, please continue to subscribe. But before starting with the news about Alessandro Del Piero, that's the first one that we will mention today, I really want to take a moment to say happy birthday to the one that changed my life 17 years ago. He changed totally my life, because every decision that I took from that moment on, from the moment that he was born, well, it was for him, for my son that is today celebrating 17 years. My biggest pride is my son, is my best friend, is the one that I love spending time with. And every decision that I'm taking, everything that I'm doing, I'm always asking myself, if I do this, if I do it like that, will he be proud of me? And every time that he's saying, I'm proud of what you are doing, I'm proud of you, well, this makes me a complete man. I'm the happiest man on earth to have a son like him. So happy birthday to my son. Anyway, let's start now. Speaking about Juventus Football Club, if you didn't yet, please put a maximum of like and continue to boost the channel, subscribing and also sharing the channel, because Alessandro Del Piero yesterday showed, and he was extremely proud of it, his graduation as a coach. I will be extremely unpopular about that. Extremely unpopular, I know it. I will not change opinion now. I don't want Alessandro Del Piero on the bench of Juve. Not tomorrow, not in the future. I never want this. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. I'm happy for him, of course. Best wishes to him. Congratulations. I'm happy because with this, with another degree, with this, with some management, he's completing himself, also being a journalist, an expert. He's completing the one that he was already, a fantastic player, a legend of the Bianconeri. Yes, I hope that Alessandro Del Piero comes back at the club in a role, in a position, but hopefully not as a coach, because we know it. The cycle of a coach is extremely short. You come, you win, bravo, you leave because you believe that your cycle is over, you have a beautiful memory. In a lot of cases, you come, you don't do that well, and then you stop. And then you stop. Sometimes you do well, you do bad. We know it. And from the moment that things are not going well, that's the moment where people are saying, yes, okay, a legend. Yes, okay, an icon, fantastic player. But as a coach, things are not going well. And the first, because people are starting to be extremely impatient now in that era where we are living, the first hashtags will come. And I don't want to read the first hashtags. And if you tell me, we will never do that. Hashtag Pirlo out. Do you remember? Hashtag Nedved out. Do you remember? Because when he was angry, when he was protesting, when he was kicking the banners there, people, no, but that's not still a Juve. When he was saying nothing, but no, that's not still a Juve. We will always find something when things are not going well. So, Alessandro Del Piero, if you want to be a coach, great, fantastic. Start in Serie D, Serie C. Start with this kind of academy in LA. Why not? But please, not on the bench of Serie A or another team, because it will be extremely difficult, especially not at Juve, because I want you to remain a legend of this club, an intact, immaculate, beautiful curriculum at Juventus. Anyway, my next, and I know that people are dreaming about it, but no. Anyway, next we go to the one that could potentially be the coach of Juventus Football Club in 25-26. I told you yesterday, according to Gazzetta, but also yesterday confirmed by Alfredo Pedula, it should not be Igor Tudor. I know that some people yesterday they told me, Beppe, it's disrespectful to speak about Igor Tudor not being the coach next season when we have a capital game, a crucial game to play against Venezia that can change the destiny. We have still the World Cup for clubs to play with Igor Tudor that has been confirmed a long time ago and also repeated 2 days ago by Cristiano Giuntoli with Igor Tudor. So it's a bit disrespectful towards Igor. I always told you, I don't know how long he will stay. I wish he can stay forever, because if from the moment that you are there on the bench of Juve, I only wish you the best. Whoever you are, even if you are the coach that I hate the most, I wish you the best, because you're actually working for Juve. You are actually doing the good or the bad of you, so I really wish you the best. And Igor Tudor staying with us means that he's doing miracles, not only winning the qualification to Champions League, but maybe even winning the Club World Cup. You never know in life. So hey, continue with Igor Tudor. But I believe that you need to be fast and clear, and I think, and that's what I told you, that Igor, he knows. You saw a change in the press conferences, in behaviors, etc., since a few weeks. I think he already knows that they found an agreement with another coach, that he will no longer be there. And yesterday we had a confirmation by Alfredo Pedula that said the destiny of Igor is written. Pay attention, put in your calendar the date of the 15th of June. 15th of June, put it there, because that could be the day of the revolution at Juve, because it could be potentially anticipated by a few days. But that's the day where there will be a big revolution, and John Elkann will decide. I already spoke a few times about John Elkann in recent days. He's the one that will really decide. When he speaks about a revolution, he doesn't speak about management, etc. He's really speaking about the bench and the technical staff, saying that Tudor will not be there, and then he's linking to Antonio Conte. Antonio Conte that in the coming days will speak with Aurelio De Laurentiis. Il Bianconero is also reporting their version of the story, that after the game, winning or losing, they will speak with Aurelio to say if they can or find a solution back, which is highly improbable, so nearly not possible, or split after one shot. And hopefully for them, hopefully for Conte, for De Laurentiis, they can find a way to do it celebrating a Scudetto, the fourth one for Napoli, that will take it away from Inter, and then leaving because they are not in a great relationship, because they don't find the way to work together, because of some stories about Mercato, some stories about ego, some story about that, but we all knew. When Antonio Conte went to Napoli, we all knew that it was not a long story, that it couldn't be a long story. Antonio Conte wants really to come to Juventus Football Club, and it looks like that's what they will do. Now, the date of the 15th of June is a day that I don't like personally, because on that day probably will be on the plane towards the Club World Cup, towards USA, because it starts on Saturday the 14th of June, ends on the 13th. A revolution, what does that mean? That you say before that he jumps on the plane to Igor Tudor, look, we will make it official that you are not the coach anymore, even if you already know, we'll make it official now, and that Antonio is there. Antonio already the coach, watching at home the Club World Cup. That's not a great idea. If that's the plan that you have in mind, then make sure that Tudor stays at home, and that it's Antonio Conte that already start. That's my opinion. Accelerate. If you need to start a project with Antonio Conte, if it's official, go for it. Or you say immediately now, after the last game against Venezia, look, that is the decision that we take for Igor Tudor, or not. But I'm not a big fan of it. Or you really wait until the end of the Club World Cup before making things public. You can already find an agreement, because you are obliged to go fast. Otherwise, everything is gone, guys. Mercato strategies, the coach that could find another club, maybe Antonio Conte going to Milan. You never know in life. That's what I'm telling. Or you take decisions right after Venezia, or you take them officially. I'm always speaking officially. Or officially you do it after the Club World Cup. But on the 15th, when we are on the plane traveling to Club World Cup, I think that would be disrespectful, in my opinion. Anyway, remember when I told you it's not only the coach, but it's a revolution globally at Juventus that could be there? Well, Corriere dello Sport today, they are starting to confirm what I was telling you in recent days. From Tudor to Giuntoli, the ownership is thinking about the future, even in case of Champions League. So I read the article. What are they telling us? Well, even in case of Champions League, we know it, Igor Tudor is not sure to stay at Juve, because there is even that clause to let him go. You pay a small fine, and he's gone, because Juventus wanted the freedom to be able to choose a coach for the next season. But even in case of Champions League, because a lot of people are saying if in case of Champions League, that means 100% that Cristiano Giuntoli is staying. Not sure, not sure. And today, Corriere dello Sport is starting to confirm what I was telling you in recent days. To tell you how close Antonio Conte is to Juve, just check the papers. Gazzetta dello Sport is already starting to build the team that can join Juve, that can join Conte at Juventus Football Club. It's not only Antonio Conte, but we already said about it. Antonio Pintus from Real Madrid that already worked with Antonio Conte. His brother, Gianluca Conte, that is actually a match analyst. We have Leonardo Bonucci that could possibly join the technical staff, not as an assistant, but technical staff I personally don't agree with that choice. I don't agree with that choice because knowing Leonardo Bonucci, knowing Antonio Conte, it will never work really well between both of them. Never. Yes, I know that Conte was the coach of Leo, but it was a young Leo. It was not the Leo from the years after, the one with a bit of ego. I don't think that these two are the best formula. Let's see. Leo as a youth academy coach, that's another story. As a first team member, I don't know. Anyway, could potentially be, that's what Gazzetta dello Sport is reporting us. We have Michelangelo Rampulla, ex-goalkeeper of Juve, that could potentially enter the goalkeeper staff. So there are a few names there that already worked at Juve in the past that could come back. So it's really going towards Juventinità. And that's one of the big words of John Elkann. John Elkann, he wants Juventini. He wants the past. He wants the one that were already tasting that victory, that are used to what it is to be glorious at Juve, to come back and to support Antonio Conte, to support especially Juventus Football Club. So that could be, and don't forget about Giorgio Chiellini, that could potentially be really active. And they are even speaking some rumors, like Gazzetta dello Sport, first team manager being the link, not an assistant, but first team manager, the link between Antonio Conte and ownership, high management, but also players. The one that is actually meditating when things are going bad or well, speaking instead of Conte, that is a person that is extremely fire, is going immediately with his thoughts, and not always it's really good to do that. So Giorgio Chiellini is much more humble, much more calm, much more brains. Calma, tranquilli, I will go and meditate instead of you. Good. Of course, we need to qualify for the Champions League. And the good news is that Weston McKennie should be there. Only a contusion, only knock, it's okay. Weston McKennie will be there, which means that Igor Tudor will have choices against Venezia, at least in the middle. I'm so happy. When I saw him going out of the field with his face, I was really at 1 meter from him. I said, I hope that Locatelli doesn't receive a yellow card, because a yellow card for Locatelli means that he's not playing the last game. Luckily, because now we can choose between Locatelli, Thuram, Weston McKennie as well. Why not also Douglas Luiz from a part of the game? That's a good one. Mercato, Ndoye. Ndoye is finishing on the first page of Tuttosport. A lot of people are speaking about him. Giuntoli is watching him. He was there when he scored that 1-0 Bologna-Milan in the Coppa Italia final, because Giuntoli was there together with Chiellini. It's a player that is interesting. It's really interesting. Now, of course, they signed him for 9 million Bologna, and now it already has a value of 40 million euro, which is a lot for the right winger. But I can tell you, this is really an Antonio Conte player. Without Conceição, that will not, probably not, 99% not be extended. Ndoye is, according to me, the perfect player for Antonio Conte. And just to tell you, Antonio Conte was looking for him. He wanted to sign him already at Napoli. Didn't happen. Good. Now we will have another opportunity. Pay attention, because there are a lot of clubs that are already also on the player from Bologna. Like, for example, Manchester United, like they did last year with Zirkzee. We know that they have absolutely no problem to spend money, that it will be a flop or a top player. They don't care, but they have money, like they did for Højlund, like they did for Zirkzee. They love to go, like they did for Onana. They love to go in Italy, taking some players. So calma, but it is one of the objectives. Do you like Ndoye? I personally like Ndoye a lot, and especially if it's with Antonio Conte. Tonali or Florentino? Another big duel there. The favorite one is Tonali, but the chances to have Tonali at Juve, it's tough. It's really tough. Giuntoli believes that he has the cards to actually to make him come back, to make it happen. You know, that Scudetto Milan with Donnarumma into the goal. I already said it yesterday. With Kalulu, Tomori flopped, but with the Tonali, with Theo Hernandez that we spoke about yesterday. Oh, by the way, yesterday I said, because some people, they didn't listen until the end, Theo Hernandez only if Cambiaso leaves. So don't tell me, hey, it would be nice, Theo Hernandez on the left, Cambiaso on the right. That's not what I said. I said only if Cambiaso leaves. So the decision that you need to take is Theo Hernandez if Cambiaso leaves, yes or no. Not on top, because that doesn't exist. Super important. Florentino is a beautiful backup plan for Tonali. I already mentioned him a few times here on the channel, the player from Benfica, that it cost way less in terms of salary, also the value of the player way less. That's the player that I like. Of course, I would love to go for Tonali, because we know the quality of the player, 25 years old. But on the other side, you have Florentino, 23 years old, that is extremely, extremely interesting. I think that he could do extremely well at Juve. Just a few words before closing the video about the under-17 yesterday, or no, 2 days ago. 2 days ago, the under-17 Euro just started with 8 teams. You have 2 groups, Group A, Group B, 4 teams, 4 teams. It started 2 days ago. Yesterday, it was a Group A that played their first game. I watched Belgium against England. I'm really impressed by the number 6 of Belgium that is called Nathan the Cat. There are other beautiful talents, and then there is that guy from Arsenal. They're 15 years old. Mamma mia, what a player. Downman or something like that. Mamma mia, what a player. They're already speaking about him having the possibility to join the first team of Arsenal. 15 years old, what a player. So 2 players there. Then for Italy, just to tell you, in the starting 11, we had 2 Juventini, the goalkeeper, Nava, and then the captain, Borazio. Borazio that unfortunately after 28 minutes had to go out. They won yesterday 2-1 against Czechia, so they are first in the group because England and Belgium, they did 1-1, which is good, but a lot of people said, but where is Destiny Elimoghale? Where is Destiny? Where is Destiny? Because that is, of course, the player that is catching the eye. Of course, what a player. What a fantastic player. Well, I was reading online and I saw some people said he was punished, some people said he was injured, some people said it was a tactical choice or whatever. A lot of people said we don't know what's happening. So from direct sources, I can tell you that he was suspended actually for that game. No problem, on Friday he will be there, and I can't wait to also continue to watch the games of the under-17 of Italy, supporting them, and then to share you what our Juventini are doing, but also the under-17 with some beautiful players. Who knows, maybe one day their destiny is at Juventus Football Club. If you enjoyed the video, please put a maximum of like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Grazie, forza, Juve.